Sorry, I for some reason it didn't unmute, but that's okay. We're here now. Hello, hello, and hello once again, everyone. Welcome to another great virtual event from the South Broward Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm sure you've seen my face before. If you don't know who I am by now, my name is Dr. Chitachi Egwu. I'm a member of the South Broward Alumni Chapter. I'm also your moderator for tonight, and I'm so excited to be here again. I'm a part of this chapter, and I still marvel every time we do a virtual event. Now, we've always been digital divas. We've actually been doing live streams since 2013, but I'm just in amazement the great level of programming that we've been able to bring you throughout the pandemic. And it's because of you watching and you participating and giving great feedback. And you could give feedback in a survey that we're going to have at the end. So please make sure you fill that out at the end. But thank you so much for being here. Everybody out there in Facebook Live land, if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome, welcome. Friends, sorors, family, everybody. We're so glad to have you here. And we have another great program from the Educational Development Committee headed by Misha McLemore and Nikki Taylor. Misha McLemore is the chair and Nikki Taylor is the co-chair. Thank you so much. And Belinda Dace is actually heading this program tonight. Education, you're all right with me. You do some great programs, and this is going to be no different. So without any further ado, we've got a little video introducing you all to tonight. We'll see you in a few. That's right. Parenting positively in the pandemic. And look who we have here. SBAC member and actually somebody who's an expert in this field and is able to aggregate people who are experts in this field. Hence this wonderful panel tonight. Belinda Dace. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you, Sarah?
Fantastic, fantastic. All right. Well, we're going to get into it a little bit. Before we actually do that, we are going to play a welcome from our chair, Misha McLemore, and then we'll get into conversation with Belinda. If we could have the video for Misha McLemore, that would be great.
Good evening. I am Misha Campbell McLemore, Chair of the Educational Development and Scholarship Committees here in the South Broward Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. On behalf of the Educational Development Committee and my Assistant Chair, Nikki Turner, we would like to welcome you to our Parenting Positively in the Pandemic virtual event. The purpose of this event is to discuss how mindfulness supports academics and behaviors, as well as share some various parent platforms that aid in student success. The topic is not only important, but it is also statistically relevant to our region and Broward County as we continue to navigate through these challenging times. Before we begin, I would like to also welcome our esteemed panelists and partners from Social and Emotional Learning Broward, Dr. Daniel Shapiro, Audrey Green, and our very own South Broward Alumni Chapter member, Belinda Dace. Our panelists represent a very diverse perspective, and I'm sure that you will leave tonight with a plethora of resources to utilize at home, in school, and in the community. And lastly, I would like to remind you to engage in our chat and subscribe to the South Broward Alumni Chapter's Facebook and YouTube pages. The workshop is being broadcasted simultaneously on both platforms, so you can replay this broadcast at any time. We thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to support this affair. There will be a survey for all of our audience participants to complete, so you can share your thoughts on this workshop. We look forward to hearing from each of you as we continue the discussion beyond tonight. Again, thank you all for coming out, and now I turn it over to our lovely moderator, Dr. Chetachi Egwu.
Well, thank you for saying I'm lovely, Sora McLemore. Thank you so much. Well, Belinda, I just wanted to bring you on because I wanted for people to see one of the people that is responsible for putting this together tonight. You have worked so hard. So I know you weren't expected to come on this early, but I surprised you because I wanted people to see your lovely face and say thank you for working so hard on this.
Well, thank you so much. And we are very excited about being here this evening and sharing the wealth of support that Broward County Schools is offering to our students socially, emotionally, as well as academically.
Fantastic. Well, we'll see you a little bit later. So thank you so much. So let's get to our first panelist. He is an expert in mindfulness. And some of you may not know exactly what this is, but he's going to break it down and do a little bit of that with us. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring Dr. Daniel Shapiro to the stage. Dr. Shapiro, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. And thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be here tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want, before we get into the mindfulness practice, I have a question for you. What is social emotional learning? We hear that tossed around, but some of us can't really pinpoint exactly what that means. Can you break that down for us?
Absolutely. Social and emotional learning is what's needed for our kids to thrive as human beings and thrive in their education as well. And it's defined by self-awareness. So it's their ability to be aware of their thoughts and their feelings and what's happening inside of them, and also what's happening around them. And it's also self-management. So as they're aware of these feelings, they're able to handle them in a productive way, in a positive and healthy way. It's also social awareness, the ability to recognize diversity and celebrate and honor our common humanity, and also the beautiful differences that we have, so we can learn, honor, and respect each other for our differences and our similarities. Also relationship skills, building friendships, building collegial relationships, mediating conflicts in productive ways, and also making responsible, thoughtful decisions. So that's a basic definition of self-awareness. And what we're trying to do in Broward County is teach these skills to children directly at their own developmental level, and also integrate them into the subject areas. So in math, in reading, in science, it's part of the education, because we can never separate learning from the social and emotional aspects of learning. And we also want to create warm, welcoming, positive environments in our classrooms, in our schools, in our hallways, in our after-school activities. And here is a place where social and emotional learning and children can thrive. And we do this through making sure every school has a strong action plan that comes from the collaborative for academic and social and emotional learning. So these action plans ensure that there's procedures and structures in place to make sure every child gets the best of social and emotional learning. We also provide professional development to make sure our adults are equipped and resourced and supported to provide the best to our children. And we're also part of the district's strategic plan. So it's an honor to serve in a district where Mr. Runcie, our superintendent, is committed to social and emotional learning and mindfulness, and our work is part of the overall vision of the district. So we're really excited about promoting social and emotional learning and giving the very best to every child in our district.
Wow. We're actually excited to hear more from you this evening. Before we get into that, I do want to acknowledge the people in the room. It's because of you that we're here. So let's say hello. Vita Sheffield says, Hargret says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Our dear chair of Info and Tech, Kelly Allen, is over on the YouTube side and says, good evening. We have Jay Monestein, who says, good evening to everyone. Lindell McBride, hello, my dear. Good evening to you, too. Misha Campbell-McLemore, our illustrious chair, says, welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining. I echo that. Dee Dee Edwards, how are you? She says, good evening. I'm so excited about the panelists. So am I. So am I, Dee Dee. Nikki is here. Hello, she's our co-chair. She says, good evening. The lovely Liz Rios says, the energy is fire. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, Dr. Shapiro, it's because of you. You are making me have that energy. And finally, not finally, but before we go on, Erica Collins is here and says, welcome everyone. She's a proud member of SBHC. You are in for a treat with tonight's panel. Sit back and enjoy. And that's exactly what we hope you will do. So Dr. Shapiro, moving on, I do have some other queries for you. So there's something called SEL, and it's an acronym. I know nothing about Broward schools except that there are schools in this county. So if you could explain what SEL is, and also what is Broward County Public Schools' approach to SEL?
Absolutely. So SEL stands for social and emotional learning, and we'll often have that referred to as SEL. And our approach is that if you were to walk into any classroom, you would see a kind and loving teacher who is well-trained in a research and evidence-based social and emotional learning strategy, and you'd see that being implemented. You'd see person-to-person relationships between students and other students that are productive, that are friendly, that are bringing out the best in each other, and you'd see teachers treating students with deep respect and students responding in a way that they're learning together in the classroom. We are always looking for the latest research. We reach out to other districts and we collaborate with them. We have student engagement initiatives. We have professional development initiatives. We have family and staff engagement initiatives. And we really try to bring everyone together around this heart of learning, which is the social and emotional aspects.
That's a really full, rich, and deep description. Thank you so much for that. So if we could, we're going to get into a mindfulness practice, but I think you had some visuals that you wanted to share with us before we do that?
Yes, I'd love to share a couple of those.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So Curtis, if we could go ahead, thank you.
Yeah, so this wheel is called the CASEL wheel. And again, CASEL stands for the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. And it has those aspects of social and emotional learning that I described. You can see self-awareness and self-management are the internal part of it. And then you can see that social awareness and relationship skills extend that to relationships with others and the environment. And then it comes down to responsible decision-making, where children are making decisions that are healthy, that are in alignment with their values and goals, and are taking them in a positive direction. And a really important part of this graphic is that it's not only these concepts, but as you can see in the concentric blue circles around it, it's got to be in classrooms, in the overall school. It's got to be in home, in the community, which is why it's so inspiring to see this great group coming together in the evening. It's got to be part of curriculum and instruction, school-wide practices, and even at the level of policy. And we've got to, all of our schools exist within a community, and we want to bring the best of that community resources, people coming in, mentoring, tutoring, and we want to engage with the community in the most productive relationship. So that's the CASEL wheel graphic.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the next thing that you wanted to share, what was the next thing you wanted to share with us?
We have social and emotional learning
The toolkit?
Yes.
Okay.
And these toolkits are for you. They're for students, they're for families, and the blue one is the mindfulness toolkit, which I'll get into in a moment. But you can get into Canvas, you can click into these, and there's all kinds of videos, lessons, resources, and information for students and for you as a family to support your student in social and emotional learning.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then there is a mindfulness part of the website, I'm guessing, that you'd like to share with us. So if we could have that up, you could tell us a little bit about that before you actually go into the practice.
All right, absolutely. So mindfulness is the awareness of what's going on within us. Again, that's our thoughts, our feelings, what's happening within. And it's also being aware of what we're seeing, hearing, feeling, being aware of our environment and the way that we interact. Relationships happen in the spaces between people, and we're doing that consciously and with intention, with good intention. And again, it's an honor to work for a superintendent who values mindfulness. And in our district, we have a project called 10 Minutes of Mindfulness. So this site is another place that you can refer to. And inside, there's all kinds of videos, guides, and information about mindfulness so that you can practice it and also help your children to practice it.
Great, wonderful. So this is the part that I've really been waiting for, a little bit of mindfulness practice. So if you could lead us in that and explain, we'd be so honored.
Absolutely. So this will be about a 2-minute practice. And what I'll do is I'll gently guide you. And with mindfulness, it's always a volunteer. So only please do this if you're comfortable, and only do the parts of it that you're comfortable with. And what I'll do is I'll guide a practice of coming and bringing our attention to this moment right here and right now, and becoming aware of what's happening inside and outside so that we can be fully present for our experience. And the idea here is that we can look at it directly with a sense of calm, and then we can respond to what's needed with kindness, with compassion, and with clarity, because we're here in this moment. So if you're comfortable, I welcome you to sit in your chair in a place where you feel relaxed, alert, but not so relaxed that you'd be falling asleep. So it's this balance of alertness and being relaxed. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and you can take a deep breath. So bring the air and fill the lungs, and then breathe out and allow the air to empty from the lungs. And then again, breathing in and oxygenating the system. And then breathing out a little bit longer this time and relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the brow, the jaw, which can often be tight. And one more time, bringing in a nice deep breath, filling the lungs. And this time you can even make a sigh and just let it all the way out. And research shows that taking 3 deep breaths like this at any time can really help you bring clarity and help you get into a calmer state. So that in itself is helpful. So now I want to invite you to open your eyes, and I want you to notice 5 things in the room that you can see. So it may be a lamp, it may be a desk, and I want you to be conscious of seeing what you're seeing. And you can go one at a time, looking at the color of that object, looking at the shape of that object, and really being right here, right now, being aware of seeing that object. Once you look at one object, then you can shift to the next. And we're just being aware, being conscious of seeing in this present moment. Okay, and in a couple more seconds just to see those 5 objects. And the idea here is when your loved one is in front of you, you can really see that person. You know them deeply, and you're also seeing them as if for the first time because you're so present in the moment. Now take another deep breath. Breathe all the way in, let the breath out, relaxing, allowing everything to be as it is. And this time I want to invite you to hear 4 sounds. So you may hear the sound of my voice. You may hear the silence in between words. You may hear the hum of a computer or an air conditioner, or maybe someone speaking or laughing in your home. Just tune in and really listen consciously to those sounds, feeling the texture of those sounds, being fully present for the experience of hearing. Just giving yourself a moment to hear 4 things. If the mind wanders, just gently bring it back to this moment. It's very natural for the mind to wander. And so part of the practice is just noticing that and coming back to the practice. And so taking another deep breath all the way in, letting the breath out, taking this moment to relax. And now feel 3 things. It may be something physical like your feet on the floor or the sensation of sitting in your chair, or maybe your shirt upon your shoulders. It may be a tension in the shoulders or a neck, or a feeling in the body of excitement or happiness, or a little bit of anxiousness, whatever's there. But just tune in and feel 3 feelings, allowing them to be just as they are, knowing that participating in your own way is perfect, just as it is. Taking another deep breath, breathing out, and just taking a moment to pause and sit here together in kindness for yourself and for everyone in this group, acknowledging the hard work you're doing every day for children, for your family, for your community, and just taking a moment to rest here within the warm support of people who are here for a common purpose, doing the best for our kids and community. Breathing in and out, being here in this moment. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, you can wiggle your fingers and toes, and we come back together, calm, focused, and ready to bring the best out in ourselves and each other for our kids.
Wow, I really wanted to participate in that, but I needed to host the rest of this, and I would have been ready to go to sleep had I participated. But it looked wonderful. It looks like it's something, I mean, and not just parents and children. I think that practice of mindfulness is useful for everyone.
Yes, it's practicing being here for each other, so that when we're talking with our child, we're listening 100%. Opening our heart, opening our mind, being there. When we're studying and we're learning or doing homework, we're there and we're able to give the fullness of our concentration to what we're doing. So it's this practice which often helps us to relax and brings a sense of calm so we can be at our best.
Fantastic. And those are the resources and the toolkits at the bottom. That is the website. So you all are welcome to take a look at those resources. We will also put them in the chat for you all. So never fear. We will go through them again, through them for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shapiro. This was fantastic. It was much needed. And I'm sure that a lot of people will be visiting the website to get those resources.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. That was great, was it not? Well, we're not done yet. We have more in store for you. But before I go on, let me take a break to reset. My name is Dr. Chetachi Egwu. I am a member of the South Broward Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. In case you are just tuning in, you're never too late. You are watching Positive Parenting, or Parenting Positively in the Pandemic. I'm sure for some of us, it's been a challenge this past year. We're not used to being in their faces, and they're not used to being in our faces. But some of these tools that we're providing you with tonight and some of the information hopefully will make that challenge, shall we say, or that wonderful surprise a little bit easier. So we're going to move on. Once again, thank you to Dr. Shapiro for this. And we are going to move on to Soror Belinda Days, who is going to do some more about mindfulness and also give us some website resources. Belinda, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Hello, hello. Good evening.
Hi.
Once again.
Wasn't that amazing?
Oh my goodness, I could not do it because I would not be back now if I would still be out there in the mindfulness ether. So I said, let me stay right here present so that I could do it. But be for sure, I'm going to watch the replay of this, which you all can do as well. And I'm going to go through that practice. So if you missed it, make sure at the end you watch the replay. So, by the way, loving your hair. You're my hair crush today, I think. Beautiful twist out. It's looking great. Let's talk a little bit about some resources and some things. You're going to explore Inner Explorer?
That is correct. So we recognize in Broward schools that everyone is not skillful in mindfulness. And so all staff, students, as well as parents have access to Inner Explorer. in Clever, it is an app. However, parents can log in to InterExplore and experience daily practices as well as transition and sound practices free, which is amazing. So you would simply, if you could pull up the slide here, you would actually go into the website and we'll be providing that. Currently, we have used over 55,000 mindfulness minutes in Broward schools this year. We have over 229 schools that are using the app, and as well as parents. And it is accessible from anywhere on a smartphone, a computer, as well as I mentioned, in Clever. So if you would go to the next slide, you would just simply, as a parent, log in onto the website and set up your account. It's going to ask for the school that your child attends. However, there is no private information that will be shared. Now, the great thing about this platform is, like I mentioned, it has 10 minutes usually or a little more of daily practices. And we found that a lot of schools are utilizing it and they're chunking them. It also has transition practices. Now, transition practices are great for when students are coming in to a classroom, maybe coming in from lunch, just arriving, as well as at home, after maybe getting off the bus or just coming in and they're preparing to do their homework. They can log in and experience a transition practice, which would help get them grounded and centered and prepared to take on what they're about to face. And then they also have sound practices. So what I would like to do is actually experience just a 1-minute mindfulness practice through InterExplore.
Let's practice the mindful minute. Closing your eyes, breathing in and out through your nose for 5 or 6 breaths. And at the end of our time, you'll hear a recognizable sound, and that will be how you know you can open your eyes.
So I hope you enjoyed that mindful minute.
I really did.
I was
Again,
going to say, I think you did.
yeah, I did. See, that's why I tried not to do it this time. I said I'll do. I was like, oh wait. Let me center myself. Let me come back. But I think those, again, so important, not just for parents and children in the school system, but in general. So again, here are 2 things that you could go back on the replay and use these and practice on these. So this is available on the site. Yes.
It is available on the site, and I believe we'll be sharing that address, as well as in the students' Clever, as well as in staff Clever. So you just simply click, and you can set this up in the App Store on smartphones, smart devices as well.
Fantastic. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see the website right there. And it's also in the chat on Facebook Live and on YouTube. So no excuses. It's all right there. And of course, you are welcome to go back and replay this once it's finished in case you missed any of that. Wonderful. All right. So, let's continue on, shall we? That was great. Do you have other things that you want to actually, let's go here. Are there additional SEL resources or academic things that parents have access to at home?
There sure are. So Dr. Shapiro mentioned that every school has its own social and emotional learning action plan. And so this year, we've introduced Rethink Ed. Rethink Ed is an evidence-based SEL program. It is an amazing program with a plethora of lessons and videos based on the 5 CASEL domains that support students not only in the schools, but now parents have access to it at home for free. We're just giving stuff away.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. And so the same access that the staff has, the parents also have, with the exception of being able to actually see their child's information. So this year, all students in Broward schools in the fall were asked to participate in an SEL assessment. And that is just to help us gauge where our students are, as we all know that these are very difficult times. And so through that assessment, the lessons then align based on the supports that are needed for the individual students. And then the teachers are given the charge of executing these lessons with the students, as well as students can go in to their Clever and they can access the videos and the content on their own. So now if parents want to also support at home, they would simply log into the site that you have here, Rethink Ed, and they would create their free platform login account. And then if you would go to the next slide, then they will then have access to over 390 Tier 1 and 2 lessons, as well as Tier 3 lessons to support students in the domains, as well as there are also trainings to help maybe the parents with them, helping them get through these difficult times.
Wow. This is really good stuff, and it's all free.
It's all free. And there's also, every lesson has a video, and all of the visuals are age appropriate, as well as the content to support. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so let me ask another question. If someone is having issues getting on or logging on, are there resources that they can use? Sorry, Florida. Are there resources that they can use to help them to get on?
Sure. So every school has its own social and emotional learning liaison. And so,
okay.
Yes. And so they can help assist with them getting on as well.
Great. Fantastic. Wow. Okay. Well, this has been a wealth of information, and we have 2 mindfulness practice sessions so far. We should all be good and tired and ready to go to sleep and relax once all of this is over, but we'll also be full of that information. Belinda, thank you so very much. We'll see you in a little while.
Okay.
Oh, well, do you have something else that you wanted to add?
And there's more. Of course there is. So Broward County.
Oh, there is more. Okay.
Yes. So
Go
Broward
ahead.
County is supporting students socially, emotionally. Now the learning piece, we are also providing students with assistance with homework through Ask Bria. It is within,
Bria,
yes. It covers all the 4 content areas of language arts, social studies, math, and science. And it is accessible for students in K through 12. They would simply go into their Canvas. On the side there, it says Ask Bria, and they would schedule a time. It's Monday through Friday. The times vary based on the grade level, but it's amazing. It's one-on-one. It's certified educators prepared and ready to help.
Great. All right. So we can ask Bria.
Ask Bria.
All right. Okay. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Oh, and we may see you later on. Cheers. All right. Wow. Well, we've learned that we need to ask Bria. If you don't know, you better ask somebody, and that somebody is Bria. We have all these resources and websites. We've got these mindfulness practices. If this is not a chock full information session, people, I don't know what is, but I am ready to give you more information. That's right. It doesn't stop there. Beyond asking Bria, we have Audrey Green, who is here. Audrey, are you with us?
Here I am.
Hello, there you are. There you are.
I will help you navigate all these technology toolkits.
Fantastic, fantastic. And before you go, I have some information, just a little bit of housekeeping for our audience. Thank you so much once again for being here. I need to give those of you that are members of the South Broward Alumni Chapter, you know we always do a password or a passcode to let us know that you have actually watched and enjoyed. Your code to email is going to be virtual school. That's right. For members of the South Broward Alumni Chapter, the code that you are going to email to sbac.education@gmail.com. I'll make sure of that before we come back because I'm not sure if there's a dot, but I think it's sbac.education@gmail.com. You are going to email virtual school to that email, and I'll come back and assure that is that email. Okay, wonderful. Mrs. Green, hello.
Hello again.
Hello again. And how are you doing this evening?
Good. I'm so thrilled to be here. This is wonderful. You know, the partnership that the teachers really strive for is that partnership with the child, but also with the parent, getting that communication going. And that's kind of where I want to focus my energies tonight, is on that communication piece.
Fantastic. Then let's get to it. You're going to explain some of the things in something called Canvas, correct?
Yes. And you've heard Canvas mentioned a couple of times tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, how do parents get access to that?
So really, the first way that a parent is going to have any kind of interaction with Canvas is going to be through their child's login. And the login information, the students all know how to get on. But I'm going to show you a site actually that is open to the public, that with this website address that we were talking about earlier. browardschools.instructure.com is the basic email address for Canvas, and following that are the different course numbers. And this particular course, as you see, it ends with 411. So this is where you get all the information that you need as a parent, and this takes you literally through what Canvas is, how to operate Canvas, but also all the other digital tools. The next slide shows a bevy of different things. They have ESOL resources, information for parents specifically about Canvas, CTACE information, which is that piece of career and technical. So if they're interested in a future career or some sort of certification in high school, you'll find information there. Discovery education. And you're hearing a lot of these tools that the students are using in the classroom, Nearpod, Newsela, and you'll see them here listed. This website is actually part of Canvas. So Canvas is a learning management system. You might hear them call it an LMS. A learning management system is that place where the teacher and the student interact. And it provides all of the information for the student during the day. The 411 course has all of the information organized very similarly to what your students see from their teacher, but in a course for the parent to navigate and find whatever it is they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the most important things that I found Canvas 411 course has is information on attendance. And with this weird time we're in, where a student is attending class, but they're still sitting in their room, maybe in their slippers, and the fan is going, the teacher sees the fan going above their head, and they see about this much of their student. The issues have been that the students aren't turning on their cameras, or the technology's not working, and they can't get into a meeting. And it's key to know that this 411 course will explain how attendance is counted, or what is excused, what isn't excused, how to get in touch with your school if the student is having technical difficulties. Because if they're having technical difficulties and cannot attend a meeting, the school can provide a specialized code so the student is not counted as an unexcused absent. Very important, because we are having these difficulties along the way.
Absolutely. So I have a question before we continue going. Has it gotten better? Of course, at the very beginning of the pandemic, when everybody was thrown into the world of virtual learning, there was a lot of discombobulation, if that's a word, but I'm making it one if it's not. Have you noticed differences? Has it gotten better, or are we kind of still in the same place we were at the beginning?
You know, I can speak from a teacher perspective that I'm building these incredible relationships with my students, and yet some of them I have never met in person. And I have to, throw back to the SEL component, that when we use the Rethink site that Belinda just mentioned, that we build these relationships from the discussions that come out of how are you feeling today? And, what did you think was difficult, and what did you struggle with? What did you find success with? And the teachers who have made that shift. So we've been digital. So Broward Schools, a lot of these tools that you're going, see on the 411 site have been around. I've been using Canvas for 4 years with my classes, but as you said, everyone was thrown into it. Think about what your children are learning. We're hearing a lot of they're not learning. They're learning how to be in an online web conference meeting on time. They're learning how to chat and turn on digital devices at the same time. They're also at the same time navigating assignments that are being thrown at them digitally while they're trying out digital tools, creating PowerPoint presentations, meeting in breakout rooms. When you think of what the students are learning as far as their future as people who will be in business, whether it's in person or not, that I see as people starting to have this awareness that, yeah, you know what, we're doing a lot. The kids are doing a lot. They're becoming more successful. The expectations are starting to go up a little bit more as to what they're comfortable with. And I think part of it is this understanding of Broward Schools that, we couldn't have the world be the way it was when we're in a world that was not the way it was. And
Right.
navigating now in this new virtual environment, people are coming to terms and using and seeing that it does have value.
Fantastic. Well, moving on, I know there's some more information that you wanted to share with us in the form of slides.
Yeah, I think the next one is about Clever. So that was also mentioned tonight. Clever is the student's dashboard. And you'll see on this slide, particularly the little heart that appears on one of the little icons, the pinnacle icon, for example. When the students go on to Clever, which is their first launching pad when they sign into a digital device that comes from the district, or if they sign into it via the website address, they can actually click on these little hearts and bring to the forefront or to the top of the screen a favorites. So the items that they're using on a daily basis, check your students' Clever and see, have they favorited their Canvas, their Pinnacle, their Office 365, the other tools that they're using with the teacher. Those things should be towards the top. Also, to get into Clever allows the student to now get into every other item. Not yet for Canvas. So every item you see listed here, for example, Scratch programming, vocabulary.com, all of these programs used to have to be a different sign-in every time the student went to them. But using Clever, the students use their one Active Directory username and password. And their username is their 06 number. And the password, more recently, used to be their birth date. But the students were asked to change that password. It's been their birth date for 4 years. So you might want to check with your kids and find out what did you change it to and make sure they remember, because if they lose that, they can't get into everything else. And that was one of the little twists that came with the new semester was, okay, change your password. We all know what that's like.
Yeah, this really seems like an awful lot of responsibility for a child. And of course, they've got their parents helping them out. But, I was one of those that was like before, well, why can't you just go digital? I've been teaching online for years. But now I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, this is what you want for kids to do? So I'm a little more sympathetic now than I was.
And that's where the SEL piece comes in. We have to keep touching base with them, and we have to keep making them realize we're all in it together. We're here to support you. That's been one of the greatest improvements I've seen with my own students is communication. Again, back to communication. And how are they getting in touch with their teacher? The next item actually from the 411 site is all about Canvas. And again, Canvas is that one component that connects the student directly to the teacher all day long. Even when they're not in an actual meeting with the teacher, they're still receiving feedback from a teacher. They're receiving assignments from a teacher. They're receiving their scores on assignments in the Canvas app. Everything is taking place there. And the parent has access to a parent app. And on the 411 site, this is just a small blurb of what the download looks like from the PDF instructions, where they will walk you step by step through how to get the app, how to make the connection to Broward Schools, and how to connect to one or more students that you want to monitor on that app. And you will be able to see their work, the work from the teacher, any comments the teacher is providing to the student. I do extensive feedback for my students so that they can now resubmit the work. So, you know, that's another thing that comes out of Canvas, is this ability for the students to go on, look at their work, hear what the teacher has to say. Teachers can record videos. They can be personalized videos directly to your child, or they can be general videos where the student can watch, like you're going to watch this over again later. The student can watch their math lesson later and pause and take time to now do the lesson over at their own pace if they need to, with their parent who, you know, we all know math, you know, it's not always the best night when you have to do math homework.
Right. So let me interrupt for a moment and ask this. Have you noticed, or maybe it's too soon to see anything in terms of numbers, but part of the thing is not being able to go back and rewind when it comes to certain things. You're just reliant basically on your notes, right? Sometimes you get the tutoring, etc., but you're reliant on your notes. Have you noticed a difference because students are now able to go back and rewind and watch things over again?
Absolutely. I teach a coding class, and you can imagine that learning the new line of code and having to use that line of code can get lost in a 45-minute session, especially if you're allowing for practice and maybe someone needed assistance somewhere else. The video is there. They can watch it as often as they want. They can watch it months later. I can send them a personal video. If they say I'm stuck on this one problem, I can now record that for that child and send it directly in a message through Canvas as well. So I'm telling you, the Canvas piece, and especially for parents, this communication between the teacher and the child, both one-on-one and globally, is really important to get to know. Get in that Canvas course and look around, and use the parent app. When the student gets an assignment, you can be notified. When they get a grade, you can be notified. So you can keep up and not miss what's going on until it's too late, so to speak.
I don't have a child in the least, and I'm excited about this. So I'm going to stay excited and let you keep going with the rest of your presentation.
Well, I do want to talk about that direct communication between a parent and the teacher. So children know how to get in touch with us. I have 40 emails a day that I go through at the end, and I tell them I'm going to go through them at the end of the day. Let me know what you need. But what about the parent? The parent can also actually go in, if they're in the Canvas app, they can use that inbox. I want to caution the parents that when you're writing a message inside Canvas, the student has access to it. It's coming to the teacher via the student. And I do get emails from parents that way. But if you want something that's more you and the teacher privately, you want to find that teacher's email address. And so we have, next slide shows this is an elementary school that I found from Broward Schools. My school has this. Find that school staff directory. And if you'll notice at the bottom of the slide, the first name, the first person is the principal, and you'll see you have a checkbox where you can email the person directly, and then you can actually check to CC others on the team. So if you have 2 or 3 teachers that you're addressing with an issue, you can do one email and include more than one teacher. And one of the benefits of this is also a lot of teachers were not sure, how do I spell their name? We have a couple of teachers who spell their names a little differently than the norm, and the email goes, who knows where. But if you're clicking on these staff directory links, you're assured that the email is going to get to that teacher.
Great.
I think the most important place people want to hear about is Pinnacle, which is my last hurrah. It's last, but certainly not least. Pinnacle is that grade book. Yeah, it's the grade book. And so I think it's 2 slides away. Yep, there you go. So I don't know how many parents know this, but you can actually go into Pinnacle, which is the grade book. This is literally the teacher's grade book. You are looking inside the grade book at your child's assignments, the due dates, whether it was late or not, any comments the teachers have. And this particular point of view is the official record. So Canvas does have scores and rubrics and feedback, but Pinnacle is where it's on record. And so this will go into the final student record. But you can actually enter your email address. And if you'll, this little slide just is a small snippet of what you can have sent to your email. One of the most popular items is down at the bottom where you choose the class you're most concerned about or all the classes. And you can actually pull the drop-down menu and choose a grade where if your student falls below that average, Pinnacle will notify you. So again, it's that fail-safe where I don't want to monitor all the time. I don't want to be on their back, especially in the upper middle group grades and high school. You want to start to let out the leash a little bit, but I do need to keep on top of it. And if they slip below, maybe it's 70%, maybe it's 75%. You want to know, and then you can get on top of things and communicate to that teacher, what's going on? Can you help me out?
Fantastic. Wow. Well, you have really provided us with a wealth of information, some specific how-tos in terms of getting there, where to find this information, and who can help us get on if we can't get on. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much, Audrey.
You're welcome. We're waiting. We want to communicate.
Thank you. I'm glad. And I'm sure the parents want to communicate as well.
Yes.
So now it's just coming to that middle point, and we're going to get there. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come just about to the end of our program. There are some things that we need to do before we leave. But first of all, I hope that you all really found value in this. I did. And like I said, I don't have a child in the least, but I found a lot of value because this is information that I can pass on, and I can point people to this video to watch and get information. In fact, I'm going to challenge you all to do that. I know you all know some other parents. Send them this link to the video so they can get all the wonderful information that we provided you with this evening. And let me reintroduce myself again, and then we've got school. Make sure that you are aware of that. I am going to go ahead and pop some of these resources. These have all been in the chat. This is for the courses 411 that they talked about in the beginning. Parent University. This is something that we were talking about, but we did not show the link for. So that is there. Also, the Inner Explorer site, which Sora Belinda talked about earlier. Also, the Rethink Ed portal, okay, is there. And then, of course, we had the great mindfulness and SEL toolkits. All of that information is right there. Now, let me pop this on the screen if I can. SurveyMonkey, this is the link for the survey. It is in the chat. I know it's on Facebook. I'm not sure that if we have it on YouTube. So YouTube people, this is specifically for you. I am going to try and pop this in the chat while we have a message from our president giving you greetings, Kim Gaines. Kim?
Good evening. My name is Kim Gaines, and I am the president of the South Broward Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I want to thank you for joining us this evening for our Parenting Positively in the Pandemic virtual workshop. It is our goal as a chapter to provide educational tools and resources to our community. I want to give a very special thanks to our Educational Development Committee, our chair, Ms. Misha McLemore, and our assistant chair, Ms. Nikki Turner. Thank you, ladies, for your vision on this project. And I also want to thank your committee on your very hard work to make this event a huge success. I want to thank Dr. Daniel Shapiro, Audrey Green, and our very own chapter member, Belinda Days, for clearly articulating valuable information to help us navigate during these uncertain times. We are appreciative of the partnership with Social and Emotional Learning Broward. A very special thanks to Dr. Chitachi Igwu and her team for flawlessly moderating this event this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have truly been the key to the success of this event. And lastly, I want to thank the South Broward community and the rest of our audience for your active engagement during this live stream. I would like to personally invite you to visit our website and follow us on social media and stay abreast of all of our upcoming community events. February promises to be another exciting month. We will be hosting our virtual Red Shoe, which is our signature fundraiser, as well as our Dollars for Scholars, in which every dollar will go to support our students in winning scholarships from our chapter. And as mentioned, we invite you to take advantage of our tutoring and mentoring programs that are also hosted by the Educational Development Committee, and to support our 4th annual Deltas on the Run. We encourage graduating seniors to also apply for our scholarship award. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you very soon. Have a great evening.
And thank you, Soror Gaines, our wonderful president, our illustrious president. Before I give thanks, let us give thanks that we have more virtual events coming up. That's right, we're not done. We still have virtual events that are happening. So let me say hello to Curtis, who I like to affectionately call MC Curtis. He is running the bells and whistles. He is the wizard behind the Oz. He's doing all that you see here tonight. Could you give me the first flyer that we have coming up, please? A Better Chance. This is presented by the South Broward Alumni Chapter. It is free. That's right. Free tutoring and mentoring for students in grades K through 12. And it started in January and it goes all the way through May, through the end of the year. It's online via Zoom. And if you're interested, contact us at sbac.education@gmail.com. You can also take a look at our Facebook and IG pages, which are both at South Broward DST. And I'm ready for the next one, Curtis. Great. Are you looking for scholarship money? Do you know someone looking for scholarship money? Well, all you need to do is apply to the 2021 $2,000 scholarship. There are scholarships available. This is really tiny, so I'm going to invite you to go to our website, dstsouthbroward.org, and look at all the information there. We have a carousel that runs at the top, and this very flyer is there. The deadline is March 1st. Friends, you don't have very long, so I would hasten, run, don't walk, and fill this out because everybody could use that scholarship money. Be aware that they need to live in the service area of the South Broward Alumni Chapter, which is south of Griffin Road to the county line, to the Miami-Dade County line, east and west from the beach to the Everglades. All right, I'm ready for the next. Dollars for Scholars. This is our fundraiser. It is going to be drawn at the event we're going to talk about next, the Red Hat, Red Shoe, Redception on February 21st. Tickets are $20. This is your suggested minimum donation, and you do not need to be present to win. What's your first prize? $1,000 cash. What? Who doesn't need that? Second prize is a resort staycation, and you can practice all these mindfulness things at the staycation. And then third prize is a $250,000. Did I say that? I wish. $250 gift card. Forget the 1,000. That wasn't me who said that. Who said that? So your suggested minimum per ticket is $20. You don't have to be there. If you want to purchase a ticket, go to cut.ly, SBAC, Dollars for Scholars. This is also on our website, dstsouthbroward.org. Ready for the next? This is what I was talking about. You have got to be there or be square. This is the Red Shoe Luncheon. This year it is virtual and it is a Red Hat Redception. We may not be able to see your shoes, but we can certainly see you don those fly hats. It is happening Saturday, February 27th, just about 2 weeks. It's going to be from 1 to 3. There's going to be a live DJ, entertainment, virtual raffle giveaways. This is not your average Zoom call, ladies and gentlemen. Price is only $30 for all of this. You're welcome. You're welcome. You can thank us later. So you can purchase tickets at dstsouthbroward.org. It will take you to our Eventbrite where you can buy those tickets. And one more flyer we have for you. After eating all the wonderful food that you will have at the Red, because you're buying your own, So you might decide to buy something really rich and really sitting on the hips. Well, you can walk it off, you can run it off, or you can cycle it off. We are doing a virtual run, walk, cycle. We did a virtual 5K this year, and it's going to be just as, actually more fabulous than it was last year. Happening Saturday, April 3rd, 2021, beginning at 8 a.m. If you'd like to register, go to runsignup.com. It's Deltas on the Run. And guess what? This is going to be live on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live. We're going to have those of you that pay, you're going to be in the Zoom room too. And we're meshing it all together because we have it like that. Registration is $25, early bird registration. Sorry. Early bird is over. That was until January 13th. But that's okay because it's only $35 now. So get your $35 together, get yourself together, and you can safely walk or run or cycle from the comfort of home or out in the park by yourself, whatever you would like to do. So we look forward to all of those things, and we look forward to seeing you at all of these events. And with that, let me say thank you once again to Audrey Green, to Dr. Daniel Shapiro, to our own soror, Belinda Days. You all rocked it and you did an amazing job. Let me say thank you to the Wizard of the Oz, Curtis Brooks, who is from Curtis Brooks Media Productions, that runs basically every live stream we do. That's Curtis Brooks Media Productions. So thank you to Curtis. Thank you to the Educational Development Committee. That would be Belinda Days is on there, of course, but that would be our chair, Misha McLemore, and our co-chair, Nikki Taylor. Also, Turner. Sorry, Nikki Taylor. It's not Taylor, it's Turner. Also, thank you so much to the entire SBAC massive. It's because of you that we do all these things. And of course, the massive, which is Facebook Live and YouTube and the community. We do this for you. So with that, we have gone over, but I hope it was worth it for you all. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to bid you adieu and a good evening. We will see you at the next event. Cheers.